Welcome back, everybody. This is your host, Ron, and today we got some Halo news. We got some news on the MCC PC flight. What's going on with that? We also have another key player leaving 343 Industries. What the heck is going on? We're going to be talking about that, and also some really cool stuff that I want to share with you guys, as well as theories and comments. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So some dude, I'm going to talk about this first because this is just mind-blowing, managed to play the most recent Halo flight, which went out yesterday. I'll talk about that soon, on the Halo Reach PC firefight mode, right? At a whopping 196 frames per second at 3,440 by 1440 pixels and a 21:9 ratio, or in other words, he had played this at 4K at almost 200 frames per second, which basically confirms 343 has unlocked the FPS as they said they would, or at least make it pretty high. So credits to Blind Fire Sniper over at Reddit for this picture, but as you can see, it is extremely detailed. You can go in very close. But we just gotta wait for that texture and revamp mod to come out, when the game actually drops. So anyway, anyone else have the feeling we're just in purgatory? I mean, it's just been forever since MCC was announced for PC, and then they said it was going to release each game one by one, and they're gonna do it right, which I'm all happy for, but also geez, it's been several months at this point, 7, 8, 9 months. So, but leading into that, we actually have some news about potentially what I think is Halo Reach's last test flight. Also, this flight is going to be live from, yesterday, October 29th, all the way up to November 5th, up to 1 p.m., and includes new Halo Reach missions on the campaign, of course, Noble Actual and Winter Contingency. Also, Firefight Heroic and Normal Grab Bag on Beachhead, Corvette, and Holdout. There's also 2v2 social, 4v4 social, and 8v8 social, Team Hardcore, and lastly, Invasion, and that's going to be on Breakpoint. Now, I've heard this called the last flight. I haven't been able to confirm that anywhere, so I'm thinking no, it's not the last flight. And really, how would 343 know? They need to make sure that the game is running right in all corners, so who knows, but I think we're getting pretty close. And I hope we are, because oh my god, I'm at the breaking point. How does HaloFollower not get selected for one flight? What the? So some other interesting news here. We have another big player at 343 leaving to another studio. Now this guy wasn't big as necessary as part of the production of the entire company, not like a manager or not like the other guys, but like Tim Longo, but rather he actually is a significant modeler for the game. So Metroid Prime 4 developer Retro Studios has acquired Halo's character modeler Kyle Heffley, who has been at 343 Industries for 9 years. And as with the others, I checked his Twitter, and it seems to be that, he's very inactive, but also there was a new post recently. There's just no explanation for why he did this, which is, I think, adding to the anxiety that's really been building over up this summer and now fall of why the hell has 3 or 4 people, major people at 343 left, and now this guy, right? I mean, it's left us confused, and none of them have given us really an explanation as to what is going on. Is the studio, are the deadlines getting too much? Have they wrapped up a big part of Halo Infinite? Is that why everyone's leaving? Are people just losing interest in Halo at 343? We've heard that there's no creative challenges from official people at 343, that there's nothing, no disruption going on, and really, I don't think there would be, because only 4 people out of hundreds have left, but you never know. I wonder if this is a symptom of a much larger problem that we just don't know about because we're all outsiders. Anyway, Kyle Heffley has actually been responsible for modeling some of the most iconic stuff that 343 has done these past 9 years, especially with Halo 5. He's worked on things with Master Chief's armor, Cortana, Fireteam Osiris, and other smaller roles and characters and so on. Now, I don't know if he actually made these himself, came up with the armor style and the concept art, but he certainly modeled them, and it makes me wonder again, what the heck is going on? But for Retro Studios, this makes complete sense because Heffley's style of modeling already matches a lot of what Metroid series tends to look like, because Halo and Metroid, there's just a lot of similarities between the art styles and, the structures of the game and, game design and whatever. So another thing before we get into the comments and theories is that I am, again, I've only talked about this once or twice before in a video, but I'm talking about it again. I am working on an animation movie. I'm working on a 1 hour long comedy drama that is going to be in Source Filmmaker. It is a Halo parody, and I have been working my butt off this whole year. In fact, it's why I've been pretty much much less active, making 1 or maybe 2 videos a week here on HaloFollower. I am very, very busy working on animation with motion capture and dialogue and scripting and rescripting, retakes and stuff, cutting scenes out, adding new scenes. So yes, this movie is going to be about 75 minutes long, and yeah, I just wanted to remind you guys about it because I'm really excited for it. I make posts about this movie about once or twice a month on my community page, so be sure to subscribe. Of course, you're going to get those updates in your feed, so yeah, anyways. So moving into the comments. Well, first one, I'm just going to say one in general. I'm not going to post anyone's comment specifically, but some of you guys said in my last podcast that the title was clickbait. And it said, the title was, Will Noble 6 be in Halo Infinite? So I'm a little bit confused how that's clickbait. I kind of want like an explanation as to how that's clickbait and also how I can word that differently where it doesn't become clickbait. Because in the question, will Noble 6 be in Halo Infinite? That is something I did address in the video for about 2 or 3 minutes, and it was a podcast. Obviously, you want to talk about the most, key, most interesting thing in the video up in the title, which I think is fair. But also, there's no presumption or assumption in that question. So if I said, when will Noble 6 appear in Halo Infinite, then that would be assuming that he would be appearing, just when is he appearing? Which there was no assumption like that. It's just, will Noble 6 be in Halo Infinite? I know I'm kind of getting like a little bit crazy about this, but listen, all right, there's a lot of comments, there's a lot of clickbait out there, and I just want to be clear with you guys. Very straightforward. Mocha Lavender 93 says, Librarian, I cringed so hard I became a singularity as my face folded in on itself. Okay, so real quick, I tend to say librarian, right? This has been a long time thing with me saying librarian, all right? If that makes you cringe, then I wonder if you're like an English teacher or something. But you know what? A lot of comments were pointing out that I said librarian. And, I can say librarian, right? Librarian, right? Rarian. There's an R in there that I'm usually missing, librarian. But I say librarian. Librarian. The thing about that is that it takes extra effort. And I'm already talking about Halo every day, all day, working on a Halo movie, all right? Do you know how much effort it takes to say librarian? Legend Shadow ZZ says, HaloFollower, what have you done? You sparked the Noble 6 debate. Yes, I have. And by the way, I was the last person on YouTube to do that, so chill out. A few things I've seen and answered, he says, is his helmet was found because it was for symbolic purposes. As HaloFollower has mentioned multiple times, if Noble 6 survives Reach, would be ruined, and he suffers from multiple plasma wounds. It would appear straight through his armor, causing organ failure and blood to go rampant. So I didn't really realize how weak Spartan armor was until I started reading the books, but yeah, that is pretty accurate. Plasma is extremely lethal, usually being 2,500 to 3,000 degrees, as which plasma begins to form. So this is extremely important when you're considering that Spartans, when they get hit by this plasma armor, it usually cuts right through their armor, depending on, well, at least with the SPI armor, right, as we've seen in Ghost of Onyx. And he also says, if he, for a miracle reason, Noble 6 survived the wounds and killed off the remaining Covenant forces due to his wounds, he would have either bled out or be too slow to reach to a cave that isn't even nearby, and he would have been glassed along with Reach. So yeah, actually, I love this idea of surviving the Covenant, and while it's not explicitly said in Halo lore, I do believe that people did survive Reach. I mean, it had a planet full of millions and millions of people, and why like 98, 99% of everybody died, maybe 97%, I can't remember. Most people did die, but some people were left on Reach, stranded, and they did find caves. As we know with Dr. Halsey and a few other Spartans, they were stranded on Reach a couple weeks, 3 weeks after Reach had already been glassed, and the war was over, and then they were saved by Master Chief on the Ascendant Justice. So yes, it is possible for you to survive on the cave system, right? But the problem is that the Covenant were actually coming into the caves and mining for, I think, some fueling stuff. I forgot about that. I don't want to talk about that anymore because I don't remember exactly what I'm talking about. But anyway, Random Guy 777 says, you should talk about flood theories of Halo Infinite to fit the Halloween theme. Yeah, I completely botched this Halloween. I've just been so busy with stuff outside of YouTube that I just really haven't had the time to wrap my head around a Halloween video. I would have loved to make a animation, and I probably will be making an animation for Christmas. But yeah, I mean, I'm just working so hard on this movie that it's really hard to wrap my head around large videos. But let's talk about the flood a little bit, as Random Guy 777 so requests. So, I made the realization realization in a podcast a couple weeks, months ago, maybe, which is the ring is split open that we saw, on set of Halo, the big trailer that we saw this summer. Well, that ring has been now exposed, and I wonder if that is going to give the Flood the ability to crawl through the Halo ring and basically escape containment, because the Flood has been contained. Last time we heard that there's been several proto-grave mines on this ring, as well as Flood containment, as with a lot of installations, foreigner installations. Yeah, I think the Flood is going to be on Zeta Halo, and there's really not much more to say about that, I mean, the rings can no longer fire. This is very likely possibly because Master Chief, ironically, tends to now fire the Halo rings to kill the Flood, whereas before, throughout all of Halo, he has been trying to destroy these rings and stop humanity and everything else from dying, like the Covenant trying to fire it with the Great Journey. I just love the idea of us actually, flipping the narrative where these rings are actually need to be used for their true purpose, which is to stop the Flood. The only thing, because the UNSC doesn't have the technology for it, the Covenant's not going to stand a chance for it. High Charity fell, right? Covenant doesn't even really exist anymore. And the precursors are the Flood. There's really nothing that can stop the Flood besides these rings. And so humanity should not be destroying these things, because if there's another Flood outbreak, what the hell is humanity, or even now Cortana and the Created, going to do? How are they going to deal with this threat? Well, that's going to come down to these rings, I think. So anyway, if you have any theories about that, let me know down in the comments below. That's basically my big thought as to the Flood currently with Halo Infinite. Jacob Ward says, 1307, that voice crack. All right, I voice crack, all right? Ooh, I voice crack, all right? Every man voice cracks. Okay, those are more like moans, but let's say, Mom. All right, there's some voice cracks, all right? I'm owning it. Bring it on. Do the hashtag. What is this, 20 minutes? 15 minutes? I'm probably way off. Tag that in the comments and say voice crack. Do it. I dare. Same Donut 70 says, I have friends that legitimately think Halo is dead. So when I first grabbed this comment, I thought he was saying that Halo was dead. But no, actually, yeah, Halo is not dead. Halo's not dead, folks, because, look, I've noticed an increase on my channel, and that's just coming from my perspective, increase of viewers and viewership and subscribers and stuff like that over the years. This has been a big boom for HaloFollower, but also other Halo YouTubers and the Reddit, mind you. It's just really flourishing, and I can't wait for Halo Reach to come out, after these goddamn flights. I don't know why they haven't picked me. All right, me. Anyway. So I just can't wait for this game to come out, folks, because this is it's going to be the birth of something new. This is really the beginning of something new, and the community is going to really prosper, and something I've talked about a few times is I'm going to cover mods. When those mods start coming out, I'm going to cover them. And that's something that really reminds me of my childhood and playing with Halo 1 mods, and experimenting with them myself a little bit, but also just really enjoying the crazy shit that people came up with that turned something that was so familiar, Halo gameplay, into something that's so different and new. Basically free DLC all the time, and everyone gets to play with it. Now, last time we heard was that a Halo El Doritos team was actually helping 343 on the MCC PC port with potentially modding tools. That's something that they would want to have happen, although probably won't be available at launch. And I doubt that it'll be available at launch, but I really do wonder what the heck the El Dorito team is. I really should have checked into that before I started making this video. But yes, that is something I'm just so looking forward to, is the mods. All right, so Jared Chad Burns says, thank you for spoiling Halo 4. What have you been doing all this time, Jared? He says, come on, you're supposed to be keep it spoiler free. Lol, it's been years. The reason why I didn't play 4 is I got addicted to previous Halos, no lie. Oh my god, so I'm not supposed to spoil Halo 4 now, guys? Halo 4 came out in 2012? Or was it 2011? It was 2012. Good god. Come on. That was, how many years ago was that? 5, 6 years ago? Am I not supposed to cover Halo 4? Am I Cortana dies. Cortana dies. I'm sorry. She dies. Spoiler alert. Oops. Why haven't you played Halo 4, guys? All right, if you played Halo 4, you're in the clear. I'm not talking about you. Go play Halo 4. All right, I know the graphics kind of suck for its time. I don't know why they do, but overall, it's a pretty good game. All right, so Loon Goon says, sorry, but he needs to stay dead, referring to Noble 6. This is on my Noble 6 podcast. He says, there is no point to bring him back besides fanfare, which would be a stupid decision. This isn't Marvel or DC or, characters that need to die need to stay dead in order for the lore and story to hold any merit. Yeah, I absolutely love that. You could stop right there, Loon Goon, because that's just so up my alley. I just love. You're right. I mean, it doesn't hold any weight if everyone always comes back to life, which is why I felt like many of us, I'm sure actually many of y'all could agree with me, is that we kind of felt cheated when we felt very emotional and distraught that Cortana was dead. And then a few years later, we realized that no, Cortana is not dead. But now we're starting to realize, like, I feel like it's too late for them to redeem themselves, but maybe. Really, I mean, there's a theory out there and there's a lot of evidence backing it up, which is basically that is not Cortana. That is like imagine you create a copy of a file and then that file gets really disrupted in the copying of that file. That's basically what this new Cortana is. It's not really Cortana. It's like this really fucked up, creepy ass version of Cortana that isn't really her soul. Her soul did die. So that is kind of heartbreaking, but also many fans don't understand that theory, and it's not even really confirmed. So we're kind of left feeling cheated and confused and not really with any, I mean, it's just bleh. But Loon Goon continues to say, I want to take that shit seriously if some guy dead for years comes back into the story for no better reason, and only because the fans cried about it because nostalgia. Yeah, nostalgia can be a poison, and I feel like I've been wanting to talk about that for quite some time. And yeah, I feel like that actually kind of rings into my animation a little bit. But yeah, nostalgia is a very powerful thing, and we all need to be careful with it, very aware of it. But I will say this, I'm very thrilled about playing Halo Reach again. I'm very thrilled about doing it with you guys this time around because I was obsessed with Halo Reach. I basically did HaloFollower research. I knew everything about Halo Reach before it came out. Everything. I knew all the theories, everything. And then right after it came out, that's when I started doing HaloFollower back in 2011, right? So yeah, I'm just happy that I actually, maybe a lot of Halo YouTubers actually have the chance to experience these classic games in a way that kind of feels like it's a relaunch, but in just such a unique, interesting way. And I can't wait to do that here on HaloFollower. So, I can't wait to do, Let's Plays or, mod videos and just, I don't know, Easter egg videos and things like that. So if anything in this video sparked a thought or discussion or something you want to talk about, let me know down in the comments below. Also, why do you think Kyle Heffley left 343 Industries from working on Halo models, now working at Retro Studios for a Metroid Prime 4? Let me know down in the comments below. Also, the new flight, have you been selected? Are you also crying because you haven't been picked for the Halo MCC PC flight? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm not crying though, I'm a big boy. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.